being recorded, so I'm sure other people are going to join us a little bit later on. We'll just start by just getting warm in the chair. So let's just start really, really simply with some wrist rolls, round and round, and then the other way, round and round. And then we're going to just move down and do the same with our ankles. So just those nice big circles with the feet. And then the opposite direction. Other leg. Hello, Richard. Changing direction. And what we're just going to do is, I'll just move this so that you can just see my feet a little bit better. Although I'm sure you can imagine if I tell you what I'm doing, which is I'm just going to walk out through my calves here. So just bringing my heels up and down, up and down. That's it, just nice big squeezes through the back of the leg. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to change that around so that we're lifting our toes up nice and high. Feeling that muscle in the front of the leg starting to work. Just staying there for a couple more seconds. All right, let's just start to warm up for our shoulders. So big shoulder rolls up, back and down. So up to the ears, then back, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then down, big circles. And we're just going to grab our tins if we've got them, or you can do this with a band or towel as well, or just with nothing. We're just going to go through a bit of a range of motion here, holding onto our tins, elbows sitting on the ribs, and we're just going to externally rotate. So we're going to pull those tins wide apart while we keep our elbows close to our ribs. And this just helps to warm up through the back of our shoulders. Three more of these. 2 and 1. And then we're just going to hop up onto our feet and start getting a little bit warmer in through our full body. So I'm just going to start with some high knee marching. If you need something to hold on to, then just grab a chair to hover over. But if you're able to use your arms as well, we're just going to go some nice big arms and high knees. Just slow to start with, and we'll gradually pick up the pace a little bit. Just getting a little bit quicker. Four, 3, 2, 1. And just give those legs a bit of a shake out. Then we're going to change that move around so that we're just going to kick up towards our bottom. So we're not lifting through the knee now, we're staying straight down the front and just kicking heel up towards our bottom. So you should feel that through the back of your legs, through those hamstrings. And then we're just going to get a little bit quicker with those two. For about 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and shake that out too. All right, we're just going to open through our hips. So lifting your knee, taking it out to the side, and then kicking your leg out behind you, then back to the floor. Lifting up, lifting out, and then kicking behind you. If you want to hold onto your chair in front while you do this, then that's totally fine. Balance might not be quite feeling ready for this just yet. Lifting up and kicking out behind. Lifting up and kicking out behind. All right, now we're just going to carry on warming up through those arms a little bit. So with a backstroke type of movement. Straight arm, biceps sweeping past the ear, and then changing the direction of that stroke so that we make a sort of windmilling movement coming forwards. And then we're just going to reach as far to one side as we can and then to the other. Just starting to rotate through the trunk. A little bit of a stretch through the lower spine. One more on each side. And we should be feeling pretty warm and ready to go. So I've got 3 rounds of work for you guys today. We're going to be, the only equipment that we'll be using is something to give you a little bit of weight in your hands. So a pair of small dumbbells or a couple of tins of food actually work really well. Our first exercise, I'll just really quickly take you through what we're going to do, and then we'll start the clock and we'll be working at 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off. So in our first exercise, we're going to hold our tins of food here just close to our chest. We're going to squat, and then as we come up out of our squat, we're going to push our weights overhead. Now, I'll just show you this from the side. So bottom goes back, weight stays in the heels, and at the top we extend. As we move a little bit quickly through this movement, it really does get the heart rate up, and it also works the legs. If that's a little bit much coordination-wise or intensity-wise for you, then just a squat is perfectly fine. Number 2, we're going to be doing a row, which is an exercise for our back. What we'll do is we'll lightly tip over at the hips, making sure that we're switching on through the muscles in our bottom and back of the legs. Our arms are straight down in front of us, and then we pull our elbows high and narrow to feel a squeeze in the upper back. I'll just show you that from the front as well. So elbows pull high and narrow as we stay with our chest towards the floor, and we feel that squeeze in the upper back. Now you can also do this one in the chair if your balance isn't feeling great today, or your legs aren't feeling great today. This is the exact same principle, but it's just with our bottom on the chair. So we're going to be working at 30 seconds on and 30 seconds off for these 2 exercises. So I'll just really quickly grab a timer and we will get into it. So remember, we're starting with that squat and press, or just a squat if you prefer, just a little bit less intensity, or if you have any problems with your shoulder. All right. So we're going to start our first 30 seconds of work right now. So just hold the tins at your shoulders. They only move upwards. As we come down, they rest, and then we push high. I'll just turn to the side so you can see how my squat looks. Think about your weight being in the heels and then exploding up at the top, squeezing your bottom at the top. That's it, 5 seconds. Or just a squat if you prefer, and resting. Whew. All right, so that should have woken the legs up and probably the shoulders too. Whichever option you picked, that's all good. So we're going to hold on to our tins, and we're going to get straight into working our upper back. Remember, you can sit down for this one, or you can do it standing with me. Either is totally fine. If you are going to stand, we just tip over at the hip, chest towards the floor, switch the bottom muscles on, and we pull the tins high, squeeze your elbows together, and then come back down. Now, you don't actually need any weight for this. You can do it just with your arms. Just focus on that big squeeze at the top. Feel your shoulder blades slide together. Imagine that you're trying to crack a nut, a walnut between those shoulder blades. Really squeeze, make those muscles work hard. Switching on through the glutes as well. 3, 2, 1, and we're resting. Awesome. All right, that's one of each under our belts. Hopefully you're feeling okay with both of those. We're going to take our rest, and then we're back to the top for round 2 of 3. So in this pair of movements, the squat press or the squat is really more of our cardio. We want to be getting a little bit out of breath when we do this one. So think about that when you think about your intensity. So let's go, 30 seconds on. Bend those knees, send your bottom back, keep your chest facing the front. Down and up, down and up. That's it. Keep your heels connected with the floor. Imagine that you're about to sit on a chair that's behind you, but at the last second, you push back up through the floor. 5 seconds. And rest. Whew. Okay, so hopefully that heart rate's up now. Feeling a little bit puffed. We're going to take our full 30 seconds of rest. By all means, drinking water whenever you feel like it. Nice and cold, keep your temperature down. Next up, we have those rows. So you guys, if you are standing, please do carry on standing. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an option here if you do prefer to do this one in the seat, tipping forward, but the same applies. So let's go, pulling those elbows high and narrow, switching on through the glutes to stabilize our upper body, pulling high and then down, pulling high and then down. Carry on. I'm just going to shift my chair to the front so you can see me. Pulling the elbows high and narrow and down, high and narrow and down. 3 seconds, guys. One more and we're resting. Oh, awesome. Okay, 2 out of 3. One more to go. 30 seconds rest. I'm actually just going to grab my drink while I think about it. Okay. So we're back up on our feet for those squat presses or just some higher energy squats. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So keep that tummy tight as well. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. We don't want to be floppy through the middle. We're switching on all those core muscles. Up, down, exploding. It's a little bit of a powerful and explosive movement. You're going to feel puffed by the end of this. 3, 2, 1, and we're resting. Lovely, guys. All right. Videos are off today, so I'm assuming that you're going great. I'm definitely feeling a little bit puffed, so hopefully you are too. Catch your breath, 15 seconds, and then our last set of rows for the upper back. 5 seconds, assuming that position. So tilting forward, arms hanging down, and we pull the elbows high, big squeeze. Pull high, big squeeze. Nearly there, 10 more seconds. Find a rhythm and just try and stick with it. High and then down. 3, 2, and rest. Lovely. Okay, block 1 is done. So for our next round of work, I won't be using my weights. I'll be using my chair and just the floor space around me. So our strength exercise is going to be a tricep dip. Now, my chair doesn't have arms on it, but what I am just going to explain to you, if your chair does have arms, then you can just hold on to your arms, push up so that your elbows become straight, lift your bottom from the chair, and bend your elbows again to dip down. A little bit more intensive is to use the seat of the chair and to bend your elbows and then push back up. Keep your bottom close to the chair. Keep your heels on the floor. Elbows go right back and we fire up through the back of the arms. That was just a demo. I'll tell you what we're going to do for our little bit of cardio. So I'm going to give you a couple of options because I'm not quite sure how everybody's balance is today. But what we're going to aim to do is a box step or a V step. So we're going to be stepping forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. You can hold on by all means if you're a little bit worried about stability. But if you prefer to just do some high knees on the spot to get that heart rate up, then please do be my guest. All right, so we're going to stick with that same format. And we are going to do 30 on, 30 off. We're going to start with our tricep dips. So either from the arms of your chair or from the seat of your chair. Let's go. So heels of the hand on the chair seat, if that's what you're doing. Elbows pointing as far back as possible, straight back, down and up. You should feel this working the backs of your arms. Dipping down, straightening out. So try and be straight arms at the top, bend them as you go down. 5 seconds. That bottom goes straight up and down. You're not using your bottom to push up, and rest. Whew. That's a great one for the upper body. Okay, plenty of rest coming up, 20 seconds. We're gonna raise our heart rate with a box step or high knees if you prefer. 10 seconds. All right, let's go. We're going to go forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. Now what we might do halfway through is change the leg that we're leading with. So I'm going left, left, left goes forward first. Now I'm going to change it. So right, right, sorry, right, left, back, back, right, left, back, back. That's it. Whew. 5 seconds. And rest. All right, that's both of our movements. Hopefully they're okay. No issues, no questions, there's no chats. So hopefully they're all fine for you. We're taking our rest. Grab a drink by all means. 15 seconds and we're back on. So I'm going to do my tricep dips facing you this time. So hands on the seat of my chair, and we're going down and up. So can you see how narrow my elbows are? They're not splaying out like wings. They're going straight out behind me like tail lights. My chest is staying up. My legs are doing no work. They're just passengers on this journey. That's it, 5 seconds. Ooh. And resting. Okay. So plenty of time to cool. Box step or high knees are up next. Oh, feeling it in my arms. Body weight, just pushing up your own body weight with your arms is actually a big workout. All right, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Let's go with that box step or the high knees. Have a little think about which leg you're leading with, because at 15 seconds, I'll call the change. That's it. Changing over. So that's it. Now I've gone to the right leg leading. Try and stay on the move. 3, 2, 1, and resting. Nice job. Okay, just one more set of each. We fly through this. So much fun. I think intervals are a lovely way to work. It doesn't feel too overwhelming as well. Keeping it in bite-sized pieces. 5 seconds. And last set of our tricep dips. Okay, let's go. So staying close to the chair with your butt, and it just slides down and up. Same if you're doing this off the arms of a chair, you really are aiming to just go down and up with that bottom. the arms bend and then straighten. And that's what pushes you up. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 20 seconds just for you, and then our final little bit of cardio. All right, 5 seconds. Let's really pump the arms and legs so that we can get that heart rate up. Forward, forward, back, back, or just those high knees if moving forwards and backwards is a bit much for you today. I'm going to change legs. Five seconds, stay to the end. 3, 2, 1, and now you can rest. All right. So the last 2 exercises I've got planned are going to be on the floor, and they are going to be core related. So I'll quickly run you through what they are while you enjoy a little bit of a rest. So I've brought myself a little bit of padding with me, just because this floor is very hard. So I'm going to put a little blanket with a towel over the top, just so it's not quite so hard. Okay, so just watch me for now. I'm just going to tip this down for you guys so you can see me. We're going to start with a bridge. I'm sure a lot of you will have done this before, especially if you've ever been given any exercises by a physio. So we're lying on our back, heels on the floor, and you should just about be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. They're going to be at roughly the same width as your hips, so a bit of a gap between your knees, not super wide, not super narrow. Our shoulders stay on the floor. Pop your hands just flat beside you, and then push through your heels to squeeze your bottom just as high as it can go, and then slowly come down. And then up, big squeeze. That bottom should really be contracting, and then coming down. A little bit of a brace in the belly is always good too. Second exercise is going to be a Russian twist. Now I might even just hold my drink bottle for this one. If you've got a little bit of weight in your hand, you can use that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just tip back in this position so that we feel our abs engage. Now you can either just keep your heels on the floor, or if you're feeling very strong today, you can lift your heels up. What we're going to do from there, I'll just move to the front so you can see me. Once we're in this position, is we're going to just tap down the floor on either side of us. So you can do this holding a weight or just with your hands towards the floor. And that's just going to work all of the muscles there in our abdominals and a little bit in the lower back too. Okay, so you've had a lovely rest. We're about ready to get into it. So we're going to start with our bridges. So lying down on our backs. Heels on the floor, hands on the floor as well, just next to us. And we're going for 30 seconds, squeezing that bottom as high as you can, and then slowly coming down. Push it high, slowly come down. Keep the heels on the floor, squeeze high, come down. That's it. Halfway, keep going. Big squeeze, slowly down. 5 more seconds, see if you can fit 1 or 2 more in. And resting. Okay, in our 30-second rest, we're going to come up. We're going to just think about that point at which our abs have to catch us when we lean back. But don't get into that position yet. Enjoy your rest. Okay, so I'm just going to hold on to my drink bottle because it's quite big and heavy. You don't have to hold anything in your hands, but you can hold one of your weights if you want to. All right, we're on in 3 seconds. So we're going to tip back, either feet lightly on the floor or off the floor completely. Squeeze your tummy and gently tap, tap, tap down on either side of your hips. Take your time, no rush. Try not to bounce off the floor. Try not to move too much side to side with the legs either. Hold on to this. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh, goodness me. All right. So definitely feeling those abs and glutes working now. We're going to get back into our bridges in just about 15 seconds. So come on back to lying, heels just in reach of fingertips, ready to get squeezing at the top. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Big squeeze high, and then slowly down. Big squeeze high. That's it. Up and down. Just take a second at the top to really focus on the squeeze, and then come down slowly. We're not flopping down, we're controlling. Up and down. 5 seconds. One more if you can, and then we'll rest. Okay, back to our Russian twist. So take your breather, grab a drink if you need it. I'll do this one facing you guys, just so you can see what mine look like. 10 seconds. So just tilting back till your tummy catches, and then we're gonna tap side to side. So trying to keep legs facing the front. The heavier the weight gets, often the legs start compensating and swinging around. Just trying to keep them still as we tap side to side. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we rest. All right, just one more of each, and we'll have had a good leg, arm, and core workout. We can do a little bit of balance and a little bit of stretching to finish. So getting into that bridge position again, lying on our backs, and we are off. Let's squeeze high and then slowly down. Push up and come down. So again, try and keep your knees pointing up to the ceiling. Try not to let them wibble and wobble around. They should be nice and stable. Imagine that you're balancing a cup of tea on each one. Don't let them move. That's it, we're nearly there. And rest. Last set of our Russian twists. We're starting to need that full 30 seconds of rest now, aren't we? Everything's feeling a bit tired, but don't worry. This is our last really sort of intense 30 seconds. So let's do our last Russian twists. 5 seconds before we're on. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So just tapping down on either side of the hips. So I've just put my water bottle down just to show you that you don't need to be holding anything. Just that rotation in itself is going to work your abdominals, especially if your feet are off the ground. But if you do need to just have your heels on the ground for a bit of stability, that's totally fine. 3, 2, 1, and we're resting. Oh, all right. Feeling lovely and warm now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop the, I'm just going to pop this away. Whoops. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to be doing to challenge our balance. So the exercise that I've got in mind is going to challenge our balance because of the positions we're going to be moving into, but I'm also going to give us the option to add a little bit of brain work in there too. So you're doing something else at the same time as trying to hold a challenging position. Just makes us work a little bit harder for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to step around a clock face. Actually, I'll just come forward so I don't hit the wall. We're going to imagine that we are in the middle of the clock face. 12 o'clock is ahead of us, 6 o'clock is behind us. And I'll just really quickly demo it before we go, just so that you can see what we're going to be doing. So we're going to step forward with our leg and our arm towards 12 and then come back. We're going to point to 1 and then come back, and 2 and then come back until 6. And then we'll change legs and arms and come back round to 12 again. Now, if you would like to have your chair next to you, just so that you've got something to hover your hand over, that's totally fine. You can always just either swap around directions to do the other leg, or just bring the chair around to the other side. And then I'll tell you how we're going to incorporate another activity in there too. So let's get into the center of our clock, ready to pop right round the clock face. So we're going to start with our right leg and our right arm, and we're going to point to 12 o'clock, and then we're going to come back. We're going to go 1 o'clock and back, 2 and 3. So we're going to have to start turning behind us now. 4 o'clock and back, 5 o'clock and back. 6 o'clock is a full 180 turn. That's quite challenging. All right, now we're going to change legs and arms, and we're going to reach 7 o'clock. And then we're going to reach 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That's straight out to the side. I did that one a bit funny, never mind. 10 o'clock, nearly there. 11 o'clock, and we're back to 12 using that opposite arm. Okay, so hopefully you guys grasped that one okay. It's pretty, the concept of it's pretty straightforward. I don't know how easy it is for you to execute. We're going to do it one more time. We're going to go backwards. That's not really the brain challenge, although even thinking about counting backwards is a little bit harder than counting forwards. So we're going to start with that left leg, and we're going to go back around the balance clock. So let's begin at 12 o'clock, and then we come back to the center. Time's going backwards, 11, 10, 9, over that shoulder now to 8, and 7. All the way behind you is 6. I've got a little bit of a bookcase there. So other leg takes us to 5, and 4. 3 o'clock straight out to the side, nearly back at the beginning, 2 and 1. And then we're just going to finish off with 12 o'clock on our right leg. All right, so if you would like to join in with this, I'm not going to be asking anybody the answers because there's nobody to ask, but I'm going to give you a sum or a maths problem that will result in a number, and then that is the number that I would like you to step to in your clock. So as well as doing the maths in your head, when you find the number, I'd like you to step to that number. So we're going to start with 3 times 3, stepping to that number. That was 9 o'clock. We're going to go with 11 minus 7. That was 4 o'clock. We're going to step to 12 divided by 12. That's 1 o'clock. See how this is rolling? It's hard for me too. I'm terrible at maths. Even thinking of a problem for you guys is tricky. All right, we're going to step to 12 divided by 2. That's 6 o'clock. Doesn't matter which arm or leg you decided to go with there. It's always going to be a bit of a challenge. We're going to step to 2 plus 10. That's 12 o'clock. All right, last one, guys. We are going to step 2. 3 plus 4. That's 7 o'clock. Lovely. All right. Hopefully your brains and bodies are feeling suitably worked, because we're pretty much at the end of our session. But what we are going to just finish off with is a little bit of a stretch. So as we're already standing, let's stay standing, and we'll start our stretches from here. So our legs have worked hard today. If you're able to, we're just going to catch one foot or ankle and hold our heel towards our bottom. Standing up tall and straight. I'll just show you this from the side. Tall and straight, trying to push the bum forward, push your hips forward, really feeling that stretch through here. If that position is just way too much for you today, then step back and put the ball of your foot down on the floor, and then scoop your bottom forward as much as you can, and you should feel a nice stretch through the front of this hip and thigh. You can reach up high. You can reach up high with that arm too. So hold on to whichever position you were able to choose for a few seconds, and then we're going to do the other side. So again, if you're able to, catching your foot, heel towards your bottom, standing up tall and stretching through the quad. If not that one today, step back with your ball, the ball of your foot on the ground, so your heel lifted, and really scoop your bottom under. Lift that arm, so the same arm that the leg is back. All right, now we're just going to stretch out our calves too. So step back, this time pop your heel on the floor. Back leg is straight, front leg is slightly bent, and we're going to feel that stretch in the lower leg that's at the back there. And then coming on in, other side, heel down to the floor. Now, if you're able to stand up tall in this position, you're going to carry on with that lovely extension here through the hip. But if it's a bit more comfortable to be leaning forward, that's fine. Coming back up, we're just going to quickly stretch through our inner thigh. So we just take our feet kind of wide and just lean into one bent leg to just stretch through this inner thigh. And then taking it over to the other side. Alternatively, you could sit on the floor with your legs apart and just lean gently forward. That will also just get you a nice stretch through here. All right, we will take our arms wide and reach back as far as we can. This is going to open up through our chest. Nice deep breaths. Just try and take the hands a little bit further back each time. Relax and roll the shoulders, and then we're going to reach up and over. So this stretch is going to go all the way from the back of our armpit down into our hip. And then the other way. And then finally, in standing or in sitting, we're just going to carefully paint down the front of our thighs, reaching towards our toes until we feel our spine stretching out nicely. And then before we come up, we're going to really think about engaging the muscles in the back of our legs and our bottom. And if you need to, use your hands to gently walk back up your legs and thighs until you are standing tall and straight and strong. And that's us done for today. Thank you for joining me, those that did, and hopefully some of you guys are catching this the second time around on the website. And Our lovely ladies, Luminata and Leslie, will be keeping us updated as to what's happening